right.
Yes.
You ready?
There we are.
All right.
Let's do it.
Hey guys, this is Jeff at MACkite, and I'm standing next to someone that needs very little introduction down here in South Africa, Cape Town, behind the iconic Table Mountain.
There it is.
Right here, Kevin Langeree. He is not only, as you all know, one of the big air champions, multiple big of the Red Bull King of the Air champions. He also resides here most of the year. He's got his own company called Reedin, and not only that, he's very humble, great ambassador for the sport. And we're here to talk a little bit about something that might seem a little out of place down here, because this is about going big, but something called the Whisper.
The WhisperModel.
The WhisperModel. Tell us a little bit about this exciting.
Well, first of all, thanks a lot for that introduction. Glad you guys are watching. The WhisperModel, it is one of the latest and most exciting projects that we did with Reedin. We saw a big gap where, you know, here in South Africa, there's a lot of wind, but there's not a lot of places in the world like South Africa or Cape Town. And there's a lot of places where it's between, you know, 5 and 15 knots a lot of time. And there's a lot of people out there that have a little bit of time, you know, because they're running a business or they go to work and have a family. So when there's 10 knots of wind, we wanted to build a kite to give these people an opportunity to be out there.
And that's true most places in the world and country. Not everyone lives as gifted, which I got to experience this week, the amount of wind that you can get here. So
it is crazy, the amount of wind that's here. And but going back to the Lightwind, yeah, we decided to work on the WhisperModel together with Damien and Rolf, you know, joining their knowledge and the technology that's being used at Brainchild, because this kite is built at Brainchild, just like the HyperModel. And the technology we are able to use from Brainchild in this kite is just gonna blow your mind. This is the lightest Lightwind kite out there on the market, and it basically needs no wind to fly. And we're gonna show you guys how that's done. I can't wait to put you on it. It doesn't feel like, I wasn't always a big fan of big kites because they feel like a truck and they don't really turn. But this WhisperModel is something completely different. It handles like a 9 meter. If you jump, it goes straight up. It depowers amazingly. And the range for a big kite like this is incredible. So
you currently have in the Lightwind market your SuperModel Lightwind.
Yes.
Specific. You're keeping that? Or are you looking at? No. So this is going to replace that in your model? This is going to
replace the SuperModel Lightwind.
Right on.
We're going to do the SuperModel up till 12 square meters.
Yep.
And then the WhisperModel is going to come in 3 sizes.
Right. What are those 3 sizes?
The 13, the 15, and the 17 meter.
Good. I really liked, you know, being able to deal with a lot of brands. So you guys have just kept your model simple.
Yes.
You know, you've had your SuperModel. You've done some things to that with the HyperModel, with the materials.
Yep.
And then you came out with your Lightwind. One of my favorites I like to grab, because I do live in an area that we do get a lot of light wind. I talk to customers every day that want to be on the water. You know, they may not be gifted with the wind in spots where it's really windy. So when you talk about a kite this size that can handle like a smaller kite, you're going to get people's attention, and that's a good direction.
It's going to blow your mind. It's we've been doing testing, and a lot of days we're like, oh, there's not enough wind, let's not go.
Yeah.
And then Damien and Rolf were like, no, just go. Yeah. We'll be standing on the beach like, now it is pretty much 0 knots. But once you get 2 or 3 knots, this thing is gonna fly. And it's gonna stay up in the air nicely because it's so light, it just wants to fly. And you know, in light wind, if you move your kite towards the side of the wind window, on older kites, like it would kind of, or on most kites, they will kind of sink eventually.
Yep.
And this WhisperModel will just keep flying. And so it's also great for teaching, but it's great in extremely light wind. And it doesn't really matter what level you are in with kiting. This thing is just, you're gonna put it up and you're gonna be, right away, you're gonna love it.
Beautiful. And again, those sizes were 13, 15, and
17.
17.
Yes.
Nice. Well, walk us through a little bit about maybe some of the characteristics that might be a little changed from maybe customers that are already on your Lightwind, looking to jump into this, or new customers that are looking at Reedin for their Lightwind kite?
Well, what we wanted to focus on mainly is on handling. We wanted to make a big kite that handles easily. And with that being said, what is an easy handling kite? Right? Most of the people, they like a 9 meter, the feeling of a 9 meter. It's fast, it's responsive. Once kites are getting bigger, we're losing that kind of feeling.
It's kind of like the old school term, we don't want it to feel like a bus.
Exactly. And this doesn't feel like a bus.
And something I know that it's something people like to do is be able to do some of their tricks they would normally do and be able to maneuver that kite. Maybe even be able to loop it. I would assume this is a kite. I wouldn't say loop to jump, but just like little.
It does approach you when you fly it. You're like, wow, it's that quick and it feels so comfortable.
So you can do a quick little.
Some guys do it, yeah.
Us old men, just a little loop.
I wouldn't recommend doing
not
the proper kite loop.
No, I'm not. Let me preface what I was saying by looping. Most of us would just, down transitions and jumps.
And that's gonna do that perfectly. And you're gonna feel very confident. Nice. And the range on this kite is just amazing. You can start off in, like with the 15, I'm around 80 kilos. I don't know how much that is in pounds. But I can start with this kite riding in about 5 to 6 knots of wind.
And what board?
And then I will use my normal 133 Kev Pro.
Right.
And of course, if I would use a Big E, for example, I could, like we had guys testing it in 3.9 knots and they were going.
Takes a lot of skill. I will say from experience, anything under 9-10 knots takes a lot of skill. But I know there's plenty of skill right here.
But with this kite, it's going to give you that confidence and that easy handling that, it makes it a lot easier in lighter winds to...
Sure. To cover one more thing, how about the relaunch? Something I'm sure you guys had in consideration because...
Of course.
Especially with people that are getting into light wind riding, when you dump your kite in, it might feel like it's game over, but you want a kite that can relaunch too.
This kite does relaunch, and that's mainly because of the lightness of the kite. Because usually what happens if you have a big heavy kite, it soaks into water, creates even more weight, and then it's impossible to get back up. It doesn't absorb any water. The kite overall is already really, really light. So it relaunches in a fraction of a second.
Good. I think we covered some of that, the basics of the light wind riding. So go ahead and step into a little bit maybe about the construction.
Yep.
We were talking about.
So the construction is everything is made at Brainchild. We're using the lightest, strongest, most durable materials. So because at Reedin, we want to make products that, first of all, we love to ride, but we want to make high quality products so, it will last you a lot of sessions. As you can see, we have a bit of a swept wingtip, gives it really easy handle. We have the light pulley-less, I will show you on the other side, pulley-less bridles for instant response. And overall the building quality is,
it does look like you kept the wingtips a little light. You do have some little battens in here.
Yes.
To just stabilize that, 2 of them on each.
Yep, the battens definitely stabilize the trailing edge. Therefore, if it is more stable, response is quicker, and that's exactly what you want on the smaller
And of course,
kites.
you have the standard different settings on the outside steer lines.
So we have the 3 ways where we can set the steering pressure.
Yep.
It comes standard on medium, but if you do want it lighter, there's a possibility or heavier.
And I find with a good kite like Reedin, typically the medium works just fine. It's a good place to start and go from there.
Exactly. And then overall, pretty similar kind of construction than the SuperModel. And the overall handling is just amazing. I think I can talk here for hours and hours on end, but I want you to fly this thing.
Oh yeah.
And it will
How about the color?
itself.
It matches the beautiful ocean right behind us here.
Look at
in
that.
Cape Town. I think you did. Again, I think that's something you guys do a really good job with a good looking kite. You've kept it simple, and I'm really excited to try this Whisper and see kind of how it feels. And
we're gonna just put a couple South African rands in the wind machine, but it's gonna come.
Hopefully.
Just wait.
Fingers crossed.
Yeah.
Any other things? Of course, it's got the 3-strut.
Yep.
Construction.
Let me film you.
Yes, we got the new WhisperModels. We're walking around here. Obviously with the 3-strut, It's going to have that characteristic to be able to turn really easily, be very multi-purpose. I think you dialed it down with the sizes. Beautiful looking kite. Again, I feel this would be a kite for any of you out there that are looking for getting out in the lightest wind possible. The size 13, 15, and 17. Obviously, you depend on how much you weigh and the size or what size board you're riding. But if you're looking for a kite to get out in the lightest of wind, the new Whisper, I'm excited to get on and try it to see how it even steps up from your Lightwind version that you already have, which has been very good. I've had 2 in my car over the winter. I live in North America where we've had snow, and I've had a 14 and 16 Lightwind. And to be able to get up on skates and skis in the lightest of wind. I'm excited here. Hopefully, if the wind gods speak to us today and we're able to get out today to try the 15. If you have any questions or you're wondering about what size you should get and when these are available, give us a reach out at MACkite, give us a call, send us an email, send us a chat. We'll be more than happy to get you on the right size and get you on the water and riding, because that's what it's all about. It's really about getting out and enjoying the stoke. This has been Jeff here from beautiful Cape Town, South Africa. Thank you, Kevin, too. Appreciate you and what you guys are doing, and Damien. They've been very good hosts while I've been down here. I'll put a plug in. If you've never been down here, come on down here. The kite community, the people are extremely welcoming. I mean, look at me. I've never been here before, and everyone has been just very helpful. So enjoy the stoke.
So what are you pumping up there?
What's that?
What are you pumping up?
The Whisper. Something really exciting, new.
But there's absolutely no wind.
Absolutely no wind, but that's what the Whisper is for.
Nice and long pump, huh?
Woo!